شلل وغهر لغى شلل وغهر الزمان قلب لغى الزمان قلب لغى شلل وغهر لغى شلل وغهر الزمان قلب لغى الزمان قلب.
Tinariwen is the name of a band and is actually a shortened version of the words El Tinariwen, which is in the Tamashek language of the Tuareg people of northern Mali, basically from the Sahara Desert. And it means desert men or boys of the desert. And it's been shortened to Tinariwen, so it's generally taken to mean deserts. But actually, it's not. That's not quite right because it's not deserts plural, it's some things plural of the desert. Confusing. They were formed by a group of exiled Tuareg guys while they were on military training in Libya. They made a makeshift studio. This was in 1978, if I'm right, if I remember. And they would record their music onto blank cassettes that people gave them for free, and these cassettes became highly traded. They returned to Mali in 1989, and some of them fought as rebels in presumably a civil war that was going on at the time, but they went pro as a band, dedicating themselves full-time to music in 1991. So now they are considered a collective, and they include younger guys as well as the older guys that form them. And they are cited as being one of the foundational bands of a style called desert blues, which uses Western guitars and blends blues and traditional African music. And they have released 8 studio albums since 2001. Hi, my name's Dan. So this album was possibly the third studio album by Tinariwen, and I think it's my first time listening to it. And I would describe this as desert blues, which is a type of music that's a cross between traditional African, particularly North and Northwest African music, and blues. And I've come across this before. I've actually reviewed a few albums of this style in this list. So using mostly, I think, Western instruments on this album, obviously electric guitars, things like bass. So there's some ethnic percussion, I think, in here as well as drums. And the general feel is kind of like a cross, as you'd expect, a cross between world music of an African feel and blues, but particularly the kind of what I might think of as the continuum feel blues of somebody like John Lee Hooker and some Delta blues has got kind of just rolling on kind of feel to it. And that's a feature that's certainly true of African music from all over Africa. My limited experience is that it tends to have this rolling on and not necessarily repetition is not the right word, but you kind of get locked in and then it just goes on. Many of the songs here, and I think they're all songs rather than instrumentals, are of a call and answer. Right. So there's a lead singer who sings a few lines, and then a group of singers who echo it back. And this is with this and with the use of kind of scales that are fairly kind of North African in feel to them. It has this has a feel that is yeah, I want to say Arabic in some ways, but it's kind of spreads across quite a few different areas, North Africa through into Arabia and such. Again, I want to stress that I'm not an expert. It's just observations. Some of the track names are in French, but the singing's not, or at least not recognizably so. I presume that it's in Tamashek, which is a variety of Tuareg. And because I know that Tinariwen are of the Tuareg background. It's got a strong world music feel. It's nicely recorded. I feel like it's a shame that I don't understand the words because I'd love to know what they're singing about. But I can't know every language, and I don't know very many. In fact, mostly I just know English. And some might say not even that very well. I found it back to the album. Yes, I found it soothing and meditative. Um, it's it's a reasonably nice album. It's a nice listen. It's probably I'd say about my third or fourth Desert Blues album in this list. Of it's possible that I'm getting the feel for Desert Blues now. I found it quite palatable. I think it's probably palatable to Western ears generally because of the use of the instrument sounds, which are more kind of Western instruments than I quite enjoyed it. Maybe not quite as much as some of the other no, maybe not quite as much as the other album of theirs. So Tinariwen, I reviewed one of their albums earlier in the list, and I gave that higher score than this, and I enjoyed it a little bit more. I still enjoy this reasonably well. So that's what I think of this album. And as always, I'd love to get your take on it. So please do leave a comment. I very rarely do this, but if you're enjoying these videos, or if you're here for the first time and you want to join me on this journey through the 3,000 greatest albums of all time, please do hit that subscribe button. If you want to be notified when I produce a new video, which is fairly often, then you hit the bell icon, and apparently that gives you a notification when I post a new album. So that's it from me for now.
جاهون تلكن جيشي للنت لا ننتمتا